Mr. Anthony Perno, who serves as the Chief Executive Officer, and certainly Mr. Dave Foster, who serves as the President of the Coopers Ferry Partnership, for their diligence and hard work over the course of the last year. All of the staff members from Coopers Ferry Partnership have done a tremendous job, not just in organizing this year's annual meeting, but also in assisting my administration in moving Camden forward. Again, please join me in giving them each a round of applause. I would also like to thank and recognize my executive team and cabinet members for their extraordinary hard work, energy, and can-do attitude in spite of the challenges. Like myself, each of you still believe in the enormous potential of our city and the opportunities that exist. Realizing Camden's agenda requires a talented and committed team, a team that is willing to put the residents first, a team that is willing to spend the necessary hours to chart the course of action, a team that builds consensus around the solutions and around the issues that matter most to the residents of Camden. I can say with confidence that my team, Camden's West Wing, has stepped up to the plate to put the needs of our residents first and to move Camden forward. Please rise and be recognized during this occasion, my cabinet members and executive team. And ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a round of applause. As I started to reflect on today's comments in the State of the City address, I had to ask myself the question, has it only been just 2 years? And the answer is yes. However, I believe that just about everyone in this room would agree that Camden has truly had a busy first 2 years that have not only pushed us to the limit, but have tested our strength to endure. We've had some difficult and tough days, and yes, some good days, but at the end of the day, we managed to take a step forward in the right direction toward restoring pride, accountability, and respect to our beloved city of Camden. We were able to accomplish this and move forward with other pertinent issues that have been left on the back burner for far too long, such as abandoned properties, the long-awaited Eye in the Sky camera policing program, and yes, Camden Clean campaign. We were able to move forward. Why? Because Camden residents deserved it, because Camden deserved it, and believe me, we are far from being done. For too long, our residents and businesses have been promised change, and they've been asked to be patient over and over and over again. Well, their patience has run out, and so has everyone's patience in this room. So the time is now to address the long-standing issues of public safety and education that have eluded our city for far too long. We simply cannot kick the can down the road any longer. Although much of my first 2 years was spent on the not-so-sexy, headline-grabbing topics of establishing sound fiscal policies to ensure that the city's finances were properly managed, they were nonetheless critical actions that needed to be addressed if Camden was to move forward. To bring about transparency, accountability, and statewide respect, we needed to make the changes within city government to ensure that Camden would no longer be the poster child of a dysfunctional urban city in the state of New Jersey. And we did just that. We changed the perception of how we are perceived throughout the state. We laid the foundation set forth by the Department of Community Affairs, the best practices checklist, and internally, we focused on our local government capacity building. And because we were able to grab a hold of our finances, Camden has experienced some great progress. For 2 years in a row, we received the highest amount of state transitional aid, and Camden's TAL application was seen as the benchmark in which other municipalities from across the state should emulate. Just 2 months ago, Moody's Investor Services officially removed Camden's rating from possible downgrade and confirmed that the city maintained its rating while other municipalities in the area were downgraded. Imagine that about Camden. Moody's also also acknowledged the city's main strength in maintaining this rating, and I quote, was due to the strong management of strained finances and our sufficient liquidity to satisfy our expenditures without cash flow borrowing. Moody's also stated that the city's liquidity remains sufficient despite delayed state aid disbursement and fundamental general obligation. And just last week, ladies and gentlemen, we received more positive news when the city got its best possible audit opinion from our auditors, an unqualified opinion for fiscal year 2019. This is good news because the city has worked towards gradual improvement in our audit reports. In 2009, the year before I took office, the city received a qualified opinion with 2 exceptions. In 2010, the year I took office, the city received a qualified opinion with 1 exception. And now this year, we continue to make improvements with an unqualified opinion, and I want to recognize the Finance Department and the Finance Director, Mr. Glenn Jones. On another positive note, and for the first time since 1993, the city was able to complete a capital improvement plan and budget which surveyed all of our community development partners and city departments to focus on and determine matching proposed capital improvements with ongoing development projects in a progressive manner. Having a capital improvement plan and budget is critical. Why? Because it equates to increased development equity and a reduction in excess capital improvement expenditures. While the Moody's, the auditor's report, and the capital improvement plan and budget might not be the most exhilarating news to many, these reports send a strong message to the state, to investors, and to businesses that this administration is extremely committed to improving and properly maintaining our finances. And why I am very clear that if federal and state governments, investors, businesses, and residents feel more confident about how Camden manages its finances, it could mean potential new or expanded businesses in the city of Camden and could spur economic growth and job creation for our city, which is long overdue. And to this end, I want to acknowledge and thank Dr. Ed Williams, Director of Planning and Development for the City of Camden, for his leadership in updating our capital improvement plan and budget. There is a growing confidence in Camden that is expanding the economic, intellectual, and creative capital of our city. Camden is reestablishing herself as the knowledge economy of the region, driven with the health services and the health sciences campus. New world-class and state-of-the-art educational, medical, and housing opportunities are coming to the city. 2012 marks an exciting year for the city of Camden, as many of the city's anchor institutions, which we celebrate, will help to boost the local economy by generating demand for retail businesses and restaurants. And we look forward to the grand opening of the Cooper Medical School of Rowan University. Let's give Cooper and Rowan a round of applause. It was this time last year, during the State of the City address, that I unveiled my plan to foster economic activity and development in the city of Camden by not only establishing the Business Growth and Development Team, thereby breaking down the silos that existed among development partners, but also by appointing an ombudsman. Both the Business Growth and Development Team and the ombudsman were tasked with developing economic development policy, facilitating project execution, and assisting in expediting development approvals. And in the first year, with the Business Growth and Development Team and the ombudsman in place, we were able to make well over 200 business contacts here in the city of Camden. And our ombudsman, Vince Becerra, and Business Growth and Development Team are working with these contacts in assisting in locating businesses to the city, such as Capital Interiors, The Market Gourmet, ProBuild, Raleigh Properties, Reliance Medical Group, Cooper Cancer Center, the Nehemiah Group, and Greensboro, among others, to our great city. The city's business growth and development team continues to review development proposals as they are presented with recommendations to my office. The business growth and development team has also reviewed and approved the stabilization and restoration of the Samuel Cooper House in Kramer Hill, development of the Camden Community Charter School in North Camden, expansion of the Broadway Family Practice in Cooper Plaza, and 20-unit Kramer Hill TAP housing project, again in Kramer Hill. Great progress on behalf of that group. My administration, working with the support of CCOP and other resident stakeholders, introduced new transparent processes and procedures that outline how the city can promote grassroots development and redevelopment in our communities through the acquisition of vacant and abandoned properties. In fact, since last May, more than 500 properties have met the criteria as being abandoned, and these properties have since been targeted for rehabilitation and redevelopment through Spotlight Eminent Domain. In addition to our success with abandoned properties, we have also been able, with the assistance of the state and DCA, to transition the TLFC portfolio from Expand, which represents approximately 4,200 names, back to the city of Camden. You may ask in this room, what does this mean for the city, the citizens, or businesses? The answer is simple. It provides the city with a larger inventory for economic development that can possibly spur private dollars from foundations or other stakeholders to stabilize our neighborhood and transform our communities. So thank you very much to our city attorney, Mark Riondino, for championing this project and for mastering a very complex transaction. In 2010, Camden received $26.1 million in an NSP2 grant to stimulate housing in over 10 census tracts throughout the city of Camden. As of this week, Camden has met their spend down plan of 50% thanks to Director Sandy Johnson and Dr. Maria Marquez. And we are facilitating housing development. You can clap for both young ladies. We are facilitating housing development, not just in Cooper Plaza, but in Morgan Village, Kramer Hill, and North Camden, just to name a couple of those census tracts that have been touched. And over the past 2 years, I've focused closely on working and making Camden more environmentally sustainable. Every improvement, as you know, creates an opportunity to enhance the city's natural resources and to improve the quality of life for Camden's residents. The Camden Smart Initiative, a collaboration between multiple entities to restore and revitalize neighborhoods in the city of Camden through efficient stormwater management, works with residents to educate and install rain barrels to help minimize flooding and provide recycled water for community gardens. In the past year, the Camden Smart Initiative has constructed 11 rain gardens in 4 neighborhoods, capturing over 800,000 gallons of storm water per year. Moreover, the Camden Smart obtained a $300,000 grant from New Jersey DEP for green infrastructure projects. They have planted over 300 trees, hosted community outreach meetings, developed a framework for stormwater management plan, and completed the $1 million Farnham Park stormwater management project restoration. This year, the SMART initiative will construct 20 more rain gardens throughout Camden. And as the SMART initiative continues to develop, the implementation of efficient green infrastructure such as rain barrels and policy development that will lead to new open space opportunities and more healthy neighborhoods. We look forward to Camden initiative moving forward, the Camden Smart Initiative accomplishing its goals. Also improving the lives of residents is the Camden Power Program, which offers forgivable loans to eligible Camden City homeowners to fund essential repairs to make homes safer and more energy efficient. To date, the city, in collaboration with Cooper Ferry Partnership, has approved 44 applications for improvements, many of which are currently underway. While these accomplishments are just a glimpse of the many issues and solutions and projects that we have moved forward and that we were able to address through hard work, through public-private partnerships, along with grassroots organizing and civic engagement, what I would say to you in this room is still much work lies ahead. We cannot afford to rest or take a break at this juncture, and we must continue to forge ahead in partnership, and particularly when dealing with the issue of public safety. To say that the past 2 years in Camden have been the most challenging and tough is probably the understatement of the year. Yet I would submit to you that public safety has been a long-standing issue that spans 2 decades or more. Is this an excuse not to do anything about it? Absolutely not. To have my city ranked as one of the most dangerous cities in America is not, nor will it ever be, a title that I nor the law-abiding citizens of this city are proud of.
Here, here.
Yet, with all of the difficulties, we were still able to capitalize on opportunities when they were presented, and we still continued to forge ahead. We did not give up. For instance, last year, my administration was able to secure federal funds with the help of Senators Menendez and Lautenberg and Congressman Andrews, and funds from the state with the great assistance of Governor Chris Christie through a court pilot payment to rehire nearly half of the police officers that were laid off and fire personnel that were laid off. And after nearly a decade, 10 years, of waiting for the eye-in-the-sky camera policing program to happen in Camden, the city was able to work with the governor's office to move the project along, which eventually has led to the installation of 80 cameras in our city. And this spring, we will be adding an additional 40 cameras to expand our virtual policing patrolling efforts. On the issue of lighting, my administration also reached out to PSC&G along with resident stakeholder groups to begin to relight our city. We began with State Street in North Camden and Park Boulevard in Parkside, and we continue to work with other public-private corporations to relight more of our neighborhoods, because we know that a well-lit city is a more safer city. And last year, my office established the Office of Prevention and Reentry in collaboration with Opportunity Reconnect to assist those individuals who were formerly incarcerated who are returning home to places like Camden, Trenton, and Newark, to make sure that we transition them back into the community and into job opportunities. In fact, we were able to assist and hire ex-offenders in securing seasonal employment in the city of Camden to provide clean and safe services to a majority of the business districts within the city of Camden. And yet more work remains in this area. And finally, after much talk and false starts, last year, with the assistance of City Council, the city passed an ordinance with the help of the Council President and Vice President that regulates the hours of operation for many of our business establishments in the city of Camden, so that Camden is not open until 4 a.m. in the morning. As I often say, the last time I checked, we're not New York, the city that never sleeps, and even Philadelphia closes down. But while all of these are positive steps in the right direction and addresses many of the public safety concerns of our business and residents here in the city, we need to do more. We need to seek more permanent, sustainable solutions to addressing public safety in the city of Camden. And that is why last year, in August, I signed a memorandum of understanding with the state and the county to work collaboratively to put together and adopt a new policing model, a Camden Metro Division of the Camden County Police Department, which will efficiently and effectively help us to put more boots on the ground to keep our communities and our families safe. The governor, city council, the freeholders, and 5th district legislators all agree and are willing to do whatever it takes, not just to make this happen, but to make sure that we are ready and willing to customize a metro division that speaks to the public safety needs of the city of Camden, that improves public safety for our residents, for our businesses, and certainly for our visitors. I understand that change is difficult, but change is necessary. And as elected officials, we owe it to our residents and to our constituents to lead and to make the difficult decisions they elected us to do.
That's right.
And I am convinced that we can no longer allow our families and businesses to feel unsafe